Into this conversation, I'm joined by Nomzamo Zondo. She's Executive Director of SERI, which is the Socio-economic Rights Institute of South Africa. It's a public interest law centre. They represent the families of 36 miners, 34 of course, were killed on the Kopi 11 years ago. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's just go through slowly because there's a lot going on here and it's taken a long time. So we've just heard the Solicitor General say that so far 330 million rand has been paid out in damages as a result of a civil claim. Was this brought by yourselves or yourselves in conjunction with others?
So the reference to, good evening first, the reference to 330 million includes 71 million paid to SERI in respect of 34 of our clients for a specific claim that hopefully I can get into a little bit later. It refers to 3.8 million that was paid to another family, which then means that 35 of the 37 families who were killed by the police got some money from the state. All of this money would have been paid, most of it was paid August 2018. August 2018.
Right, so 6 years after the event.
6 years after the raid and 4 years ago. Then after that, there was 100 million that was paid to the arrested miners. The Solicitor General announced this 170 million to South Africans in August 2021. Since then, there's been another 160 million that was paid mostly to injured miners. And the miners are represented by 3 legal firms outside of SERI.
Okay. So that is a fair amount of money that has been paid out. Admittedly, it seems to have taken some time, but is it fair to say that those families have been fairly compensated and we can draw a line under the matter now?
Sure. So I always try to explain it in 2 ways. To say our clients brought 5 claims, and they also brought relief for an apology. So there's the issue of an apology, which is part of the litigation, is part of the case.
But that's not a monetary issue.
That's not a monetary issue.
But that is a significant issue, but it's not relating to the money.
Yes.
I get that.
And then in relation to the damages themselves, they're the damages that are monetary in their nature and how they are suffered.
Loss of income.
Loss of support in this case. And then there's the damages that are non-patrimonial, which is the hurt, the pain, the trauma, the loss that is suffered by having that person wrenched out of your life. The state, when they speak about the 71 million, it relates to only the patrimonial loss, which means that there was... No, it's not the trauma. It's just the money. It's the money that these mine workers...
loss of support.
Loss of support. It's the money that the mine workers would have earned in their lifetime and supported their families with. So it's not that all the money they would have earned is given to the families. It's a portion that they would have used to support their families.
Okay.
I'll give you an example so you understand. There is a family that received 122,000 as damages.
Right.
That is part of the 71 million. That is one family that got 122,000. The family that got the least after that got 224,000. The family that got the least after that got 324,000.
So that would relate to wages at the time, am I right?
No,
okay. That sounds fair enough.
Sounds fair enough.
Yeah.
But now in relation to the non-patrimonial loss, there's at least probably 2 groupings. Because in South Africa we have personal injury claims, this is law that is practiced almost on a daily basis. So people in this kind of situation would, one, if I'm traumatized by the death, need to see doctors. There's past medical expenses. I might need to see doctors in the future. That's future medical expenses. I will then, in the trauma that I've suffered, right, be compensated for that as well, something that we refer to as pain and suffering and general damages.
And to be clear, because you've explained 3 amounts of money that were paid, this is relating to the clients, to the people who died. And this is the family that went through trauma. Am I right?
No, but it's important. You're not right, Sally, because the money that has been paid has nothing to do with trauma.
Okay, so the money that's been paid for the arrested miners, what was that for?
Well, that 160 million would include all of them. Actually.
Okay, so
would
that
include
was
loss of earnings, would include a mixture of things. But in relation to our clients, the money that's been paid is only about the money that would have left a miner's bank account and gone to support his family.
So they are owed more, according to you, because
even in law,
sort of lost trauma, and in terms of law, because you put in, you said 5 claims, I think.
Yes.
And 1 has been settled. but the others are outstanding.
And even in the one that's settled, we're saying you've paid this money to us, and that money has been paid to our clients. In fact, in 2021, when the Solicitor General first came into the scene, his accusation was, if people don't know if this money has been paid out, come and talk to us. And our clients went up the media and say, we received that money.
Okay.
That money is not in
question. It's nice to know that that has been settled. What about this issue of, and the Solicitor General, and I think this is what we're getting into now, this constitutional litigation. The way it's been framed, and I don't know how accurate this is that it's now extended family who might have heard about it, seen about it, and now saying they're traumatized and they want money. So it starts looking like extended family jumping on the bandwagon wanting money. Is it that?
It's definitely not. So we have 320 clients, individuals.
Sure.
These individuals come from 36 families.
That makes sense.
So, for instance, I'll give you an example.
Makes complete sense.
The largest family that we represent has 20 people in it.
No, that makes complete sense.
In those 20 people, it's the mother of the deceased, his wife, and his children.
Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. What is this constitutional litigation? He's saying it didn't exist, and I'm being pushed for time, sorry. So if you can just make it really simple.
We've made a claim in 2015, August, to say, by killing our loved ones, you've taken from us spousal support, you've taken from us parental care. You've also forced us to go through grief. And we think that those three claims are claims that, if they're grounded in the Constitution, would entitle us to get money from you. Because the Constitution should have protected our clients' loved ones' right to life. It should have protected our right to family life. And that's what he's referring to. So he is saying, for instance, this claim that I'm referring to was made in the Komape case. And it didn't succeed, but it was made in Komape. So it's not something new that has just sprung up. And we made it 8 years ago.
So essentially you're saying this was from way back. This is the rest of what you owe our clients. And this is about trauma and pain and loss and
can I just say one last thing, Sandy?
Yes.
From what he's saying, if he's saying to us that our clients are only entitled to the money that our loved ones would have supported them within their lifetime, he is then saying that their value is only what Sibanye would have paid them if they went down a shaft. That they are not fathers, they are not brothers, they are not partners.
So it's seeing
all
the
of
whole
them
person. They weren't just a breadwinner, they were a loved one. Okay, I understand exactly where you're coming from, and thank you very much. A very last quick question. How much money do you still think should fairly come to the way of your clients? A quick number. Has it been quantified or not yet?
So in those claims, we asked for 450,000 per claimant.
Okay, so that would be 450 times 36 families or 300 people? Okay, as a ballpark.
Yes.
Thank you for that. It's a complex issue, but it's an important one, because the reality is the state has gone some way to create compensation. Obviously, they were sued, they paid out, but it hasn't been finalised, and that's what I think...
But it's not even the problem that it's not finalised. It's the fact that we get the sense that they don't understand it. That's the worry for us. If they think that there are 300 people who are coming from the bushes of the Eastern Cape who are coming here, we have a problem. Because the 320 people are the 36 families that have been engaging with them since 2012. And it's been
from the beginning, from 2015 when you launched that. Thank you so much for all that clarity, really important information. Nomzamo Zondo, she's Executive Director of SERI, that's the Socio-economic Rights Institute of South Africa, public interest law centre representing many of the miners who lost their lives that day.